You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. It's great to have you here today on this Friday review, where we're going to close out the week in style. So excited to be able to, each and every week on our Friday shows, bring you my best of the week, my top picks in terms of books or product reviews. I bring you research that I believe is going to help you or your family, your loved ones, to take your health, your wellness, your weight loss, your anti-aging to that next level. Love sharing with you whatever we have going on over at equilibriumnutrition.com. Last week we went over my favorite food of the week, my favorite pick of the week, and I'll be sharing another one with you this week as well. And then, of course, I always want to go over what we have coming up, what's coming soon that I'm excited about that I think you may be interested in as well. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the show. One of the things I wanted to share with you that we're excited about, that we're fine-tuning, that we're tweaking, is our functional medicine course. And we are going to give this away absolutely free during its debut. So this is a $197 course that we are going to give away absolutely free. It's about 3 hours worth of content, and it's broken up into 8 different lessons. So they're all about between 10 and 20 minutes long, and you're able to go through it at your own pace. And then it gives you tips on days 1 through 7 of your particular functional medicine detox. It tells you what products to use, even if you don't want to use Equilibrium Nutrition. Remember, this is all about content, and it's about teaching people the real way, the true way to complete a functional medicine detox. So many people believe that drinking a green juice is doing a detox. So many people believe that drinking a specific type of tea is doing a detox. They are not. There's nothing wrong with those. I drink green juice. It's great. I drink tea. They're great. Nothing wrong with those, but it is not a functional medicine liver detoxification-based protocol. So once and for all, I just want to give people exactly how to do it. I want to make it completely free during its debut, and I want to show you why it's so important. And believe me, this is going to be, as we talk about the gut microbiome, as we talk about liver detoxification, this is the future, right? This is the future of health, and it's already here right now. They give you the most benefit, meaning that if you can only do one thing, you want to do a functional medicine detox like we've been offering for a number of years with our Equilibrium Nutrition brand. But again, you never have to do that. I give you the course on how to do it, and I actually link out to other products. So if you're not able to get Equilibrium Nutrition products, if you don't want to use Equilibrium Nutrition products, that's okay as well. I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it no matter what. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's about helping people. And I can tell you that if you could do only one thing, it will be doing a quarterly, every 12 weeks, a 7-day functional medicine detox. And if you've never done one before, I'm telling you right now, if you do a 21-day, it will be life-changing. And now we personally guarantee that, but you'll see exactly why in this course. So look for the debut in the next couple of weeks. I will announce it on the podcast. And on the podcast, we will, again, allow people to come into the course completely for free, enjoy all of that information, and then ask questions because we're here to help. We really are. So super excited about that. Stay tuned. We will announce it. And if you haven't signed up either at stephencabral.com, the little drop down, or equilibriumnutrition.com for that welcome offer, then I would just do that. So equilibriumnutrition.com, stephencabral.com, you'll get an email. You'll be the first to know. All right. What's going on over at equilibriumnutrition.com? Well, that is the company that I formulate for. I am the founder of that company. I develop the formulas, I develop the protocols, and we have an amazing team of about 30 people now who take care of our community, and they do such a great job at doing that. So we, as a team, always think about what products do we need people to be taking? Meaning, like, Not necessarily just Equilibrium Nutrition, but what product do people need to be using in their life? And we try to find a way, however we can, to buy that in such a great quantity that we're able to potentially give that at a discount or give it away. And we don't do sales. Remember, we at Equilibrium Nutrition, we're giving you the lowest price. That's it. I mean, these are functional medicine products. They're not Costco products. They're not Target products. They're not CVS. They're not Rite Aid products. They're not Walgreens. Now, again, I'm not trying to talk negatively about those, but if you can buy a B complex for $9.95, trust me, you don't want to be taking that B complex for $9.95. Ours costs way more to make for $9.95. So think about it. How are those companies possibly able to sell it for less than it even costs us to make it? It's because they make it with such cheap ingredients. Their families, trust me, if those people know about nutrition, they're not telling their family to take those things. And I took an oath to myself, no one else, many years ago, that I would only offer products in my practice that I personally take, or I'd feel very comfortable giving to my wife, my kids, or my family. That's it. And then I use my practice. That's how I go about it. That is, if there is a product, I use it myself, have used it myself, or use it in my practice. That's the bottom line. So our omega-3 support is a really good example of that. This is a very expensive product to make. Now, why do we want people to take this product? It's because if you haven't run your omega-3 lab, which I can't recommend enough that you take that omega-3 and inflammation lab. We'll link that up today. Head on over to StephenCabral.com/1372. Head on over to StephenCabral.com/1372. And you're going to see all of the links today. The omega-3 support is still going on as a giveaway while supplies last, and at the latest through this Sunday for all orders, and it says over $99. It will tell you for sure if that's the case at the website, equilibriumnutrition.com, but that's crazy if we're giving away a $49.95 product on a $99 order. So I don't set that. I'm not part of our team that does that, but that's insane. If that's really the deal, that's a phenomenal deal, because this is legitimately a $49 product. And I know that you can get it for less if you do the subscription plan or you buy it as part of the bundle, like the Daily Foundational Protocol Level 2, which is what I use every single day. But this is the product that if you haven't even run your omega-3 lab by using one capsule at lunch and one capsule at dinner, it's going to get you to that below 5-to-1 ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s that you need to be at. Most people, it's enough to get them to 3-to-1 ratio, which is absolutely perfect. Check out more details on the lab if you want to learn more about your personal levels, and you can do it before and after. Most companies are afraid to do this. We guarantee it. So here's the thing. I know for sure that using 2 to 3 capsules, typically only 3 capsules are needed. I have people run their lab before, right? So they're at like a 13-to-1 from omega-6s to omega-3s. Shows higher levels of inflammation in the body. Now, they start taking 1 capsule at lunch of our omega-3 support, which is the triglyceride-bound form, cold processed. Okay, these are from wild pollock. And then they take 1 at dinner, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner. They take their lab 12 weeks later, below a 5-to-1. That's it. And there's an amazing study that I always quote. If your ratios are a 9% saturation of omega-3, you get that below the 5-to-1. You have a 90% risk reduction rate for sudden cardiac death. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. So I won't talk any more about that. It's one of those products, right? It's one of those products like vitamin D that I'm going to talk about in the research that's pretty much it's a must-do. I mean, it really is. There's always going to be this, and it's going to be that, but this is a must-do product. That's why it's part of our Daily Foundational Protocol Level 2, right? Okay, I'm going to move on. So check that out while supplies last. And if that's really the deal, it might be over $149, but I'm pretty sure it's over $99 is what my team has. Okay, favorite food of the week. So I'm trying to bring you new foods, like new things that we're doing. And this one, last week I brought you, and I want you to check this out, broccoli greens. If you've never heard about them, check them out. That was last week on episode 1365. Okay, today, episode 1372, we're talking about something different. Great for the fall, great for the winter. sweet dumpling squash. If you've never heard about it, check it out. You'll be able to find it in most of your local larger grocer stores. Now, you could do acorn squash. That would be fine too. You could do a butternut squash. That would be okay too. How do you cook these? Here's all you do. You cut it in half. That's all you do. You cut your acorn squash in half, and it's small. It's a little larger than a grapefruit, all right? Then you place it in your oven on a baking pan, and this is what we do. We add a tablespoon of organic maple syrup. Then sprinkle in some cinnamon. Then sprinkle a little sea salt. Heat it in your oven, 350, 375. Cook it for as long as it takes to brown. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Depends on your oven. Depends on how hot it heats up and if it's convection, etc., etc. All right. So here's the thing. People say, I can't eat squash. It's so high in carbs. And we're all worried about carbs, even though carbs a little bit at dinner, guess what it does? Helps you sleep better. Why would carbs at dinner help you sleep better? Why? Because you produce more serotonin. What happens if you produce more serotonin? You're going to produce more melatonin. It's going to convert. That's why, right? It improves overall mood, gets you into deeper sleep. Your body's not starving. We don't need a lot. But I can't eat carbs. Here's the thing. 3/4 of a cup of acorn squash, about half an acorn squash, or half a sweet squash, sweet dumpling squash specifically. 3/4 of a cup, 0 grams of fat, 7 carbohydrates with 1 gram of fiber, only about 6 net carbs, and 1 gram of protein. So we're talking about a delicious food for about 6 carbohydrates, almost no calories. You say, how is that possible? Because this is a fibrous texture-based squash, mainly water-based, and it's just purely delicious. That's it. Now, if you want to add the maple syrup, 1 tablespoon, what's it going to be? 13.3 grams of carbs. You say, that's too much. I can't add that. Okay, half a tablespoon of organic maple syrup. 6.7 grams of carbs. Could you do that? Probably with the whole meal, but that's up to you. Maybe say, okay, I can't do any maple syrup. That's okay too. You don't have to cook it with the maple syrup. Here's what you can do. Sprinkle in some of that cinnamon. Sprinkle in a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. Just as delicious. All right, just as delicious. So this is a great fall food. Ton of vitamins, nutrients, potassium, B vitamins like folate. You're going to love it if you try this. And it's going to look beautiful on your plate because you don't have to skin it. You actually just keep the skin on. Cut in half and then put it right in your oven. It's going to be delicious. You're going to love it. All right. Next up, a product review. I've been using this now for about 6 weeks. I've been waiting a bit to give you this product review. Here's the thing. I am working on, and this is going to be a lot of my future work. I'm telling you right now, and we can talk about it in 10 years from now on the podcast, because I am working towards developing the most potent way to rejuvenate the nervous system. And here's why. The most sick people in the world, the most unwell people in the world, their autonomic nervous system is shot. And it's why it takes them so long to recover. And it's why they relapse all the time. Think about this. And I need to do a better job explaining this. I'll do a separate podcast on it because I don't want to take away from what I'm about to talk about as a review. Think about holding a pencil right in the middle. It's very balanced, right? You push down on one side. Let's call it your fight or flight sympathetic nervous system. Well, pretty easy to push down on the other side of the pencil. Think of it this way. If you hold that pencil to almost the very tip, very difficult to push down on one side of that pencil. Has a whole lot of weight on the other side. Think of that side as the fight or flight. Your body is so quick to overreact, produce cytokines, inflammation, histamines, leukotrienes, interleukin-6. These are all inflammatory markers. Adrenaline, cortisol. That's what my body did forever, right? Forever. And it burnt me out. We call that chronic fatigue syndrome. We call that chronic fatigue immunodeficiency or immunodysfunction syndrome. We call that myalgic encephalomyelitis or myalgic encephalitis. There are many different terms for it. We call it the aftermath of Lyme disease. You're not dealing with Lyme typically after you use 2 months of doxycycline. That bacteria is dead. What you're dealing with is absolutely annihilated mitochondria because the same antibiotics you used to kill Lyme killed your mitochondria. Not all of them, but many of them. And you feel like a zombie. Why? You don't have a lot of mitochondria left. You also have probably massive leaky gut, massive intestinal permeability. So as we're helping people to repair the digestive tract, we have to work on the nervous system. Remember, I did a podcast just a couple weeks back. The two main reasons why people can't get well again. That's it. Digestive issues, I go in depth. I hope that you listen to that show. And I go through stress. Well, this is a project of mine. I will figure this out. You have my promise. I will not stop until I figure this out. I will. And it's going to take some time because I don't have all the knowledge right now. I don't. And I'm not sure that, believe me, I'm looking around. I'm not sure that anybody does. But it's not going to be about me. Trust me. I'm going to gather minds together. And as I gather these minds together, we're going to be able to figure out how to reset that autonomic nervous system. Here's how I think it's going to take place. I believe the future of healing is going to do with sound, vibration, light, and energy. And here's why. 2/3 of our body is water. Water is carrying the messages through the body. It's allowing frequencies to permeate our body. I believe sound, almost deprivation of the senses, like a flow tank. Acupuncture does that, right? It calms the senses. It's calming the autonomic nervous system. Well, we need to take this to a deeper level, and we need to help people heal faster. It took me too long to heal. It takes people a lot of times with ME, 10 months, 12 months to heal. They start to feel better 4 to 6 months in, but they're not fully healed. The body takes every 3 or 4 months, it's rebuilding. Okay, new red blood cells, new mitochondria. Every 3 to 4 months, new mitochondria. That takes some time. Is it possible that we could heal faster? I'm interested in that. Well, there's a new product. It's called Huso. Huso. You know that I love binaural beats. I've talked about binaural beats for many years. I love binaural beats, okay? I listen to them on the airplane, especially if I'm up at 4:30 a.m. catching a flight to keep my nervous system calm. I'm not meant to be up at 4:30 a.m. producing cortisol. So I try to calm that, right? I try to calm it down, 432 hertz. I'm going for a lower frequency there with the hertz. Well, here's the thing. Huso's different. I want you to still have your binaural beats. I want you to use the other programs that I recommend. And you can check out previous podcasts on binaural beats. It's BINAU, binaural. I can't spell on a podcast. I'm not even going to try, and I'm not going to edit this out. So what I'm going to do is send you over to StephenCabral.com/1372, and I'll link up my previous show on binaural beats. But here's the thing. Huso takes things to the next level. I'm using a recovery monitor that I'll talk about in a couple weeks, and I'm using the binaural beats through Huso as many days a week as I can. This is an actual system. You plug it into a wall. It's a small device about the size of your palm, your hand, I should say your full hand, and it has 10 built-in frequencies, okay? 5 for recovery and 5 to move your mind into a higher state of alertness or awareness. So it has 10 total programs built in, which is pretty unique. And it's a wired headphone device. You can purchase this device with the headphones or without. I actually like their headphones because remember, they're using a bass tone with deeper harmonic frequencies built in. And these are human chanting bass tones. I think of it this. I'm strange like this, but I will go back and I will listen to. They used to build underground caverns used for chanting. You can check these out. These are prehistoric, essentially. Civilizations that may have existed before the Ice Age. Underground vibrational-based chambers used probably, we think, because of the harmonics for chanting. And you had to be directly in the center for that chant to surround you. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. A lot of this might just be lost technology. Well, what this does is not only does it give you the non-compressed, which is different than most binaural beats, MP3s, and again, I'm not an expert in this space. I'm really not. But I'm giving you my amateur review. And then I'm going to connect you to the website, all right? And then I believe they're offering $50 off right now, so I'll try to connect you with that as well. Again, just head on over to StephenCabral.com/1372 for all the details. And here's what I want you to do. I'm also just going to link you up. The easiest thing to do is this. Their homepage has a sample tone right on it. So you can see if it connects with you. And then I'm going to also link you up to their programs. And they give you I think it's like a 30-second sample of 4 different programs. And you should check out the Relax one. Fantastic. I personally, this is what I use. I use Relax and I use Calm for the most part. Sometimes you use Comfort, but mainly Calm and Relax. There's this one called Ground, though, that's like deep, like Gregorian chanting. It's almost like tribal-based horn chanting. It's a little bit crazy. Because if you do what I do, which is basically try to block out all light, I can put an eye mask on, you can put like a weighted, a heavy blanket over you, and you just feel like you are lost in space. That's what you want. Rule out the other senses. And then, what this is different. Again, this isn't just not your normal binaural beats. You want to put on, they give you kind of like old school 1980s wrist warmers. I don't even know the right terminology for it, but let's call them wrist warmers, wristbands, and ankle bands. And you put in these discs. I think they call them pads or just pods. And you hook them into the bands. And it actually gives you, on the acupressure points, vibrational-based technology. So now your ears, your head are vibrating with these harmonics, and then your wrists and ankles are vibrating through your body. It's kind of eerie the first time you try it. And you can understand why this is going to help deeply entrain the brain and the parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system to rebalance the body. So I'm still using them. This is for deep healing. If people are looking to do deep meditation, deep healing for 30 minutes at a time, that's how long these are, this might be worth checking out. Not the cheapest binaural beats, of course, in the world, but this is also a system. So it's a little different, right? This is like, okay, I'm making the concerted effort to work on my meditation, work on my relaxation, work on my autonomic nervous system. A really nice time of the day to do this is like, an hour or so after lunch. If you can lie down for 30 minutes and you can use this as part of your recovery, or even if you wanted to do it an hour or so before bed, might be really, really nice and relaxing. So anyway, I'll link it up today. Product is called Huso. Again, I'm working really heavily in this space and just wanted to share with you some of my favorite things. Okay. I know I'm already up on my time. What I want to do is, all right, I'm going to give you some quick research that I wanted to bring you. Real quick is this. All right. Study on vitamin D. All right, let me see. Study on vitamin D. I've got my research papers all over my desk. See which one I want to bring you today. Yes, vitamin D. Okay, optimal vitamin D levels may vary for different ethnic and racial groups. Now, again, I'll link up the source. It's Metabolism, Clinical, and Experimental Journal, September 2019. This is fresh research. And it's kind of one of those things where I just say, of course it's different. We talked about this in the Cabral concept. Of course it's different. If your skin burns easily from the sun, you're probably not going to need as much vitamin D. However, if you have darker pigmentation in your skin, you're meant to get more sun and you probably need more vitamin D, right? Like it's one of these things where the researchers are dumbfounded, and I just have to say, use common sense here. Again, brilliant people just not using their given faculties. But I would say is this, how do you know that's the right amount for you? Well, about 4,000 IUs a day for adults when you're not getting a tan, okay? About 4,000 IUs for adults. For children, about 600 IUs. If you want to take what it should be, about 35 IUs per pound of body weight, okay? So pretty simple. Again, about 4,000 to 5,000 IUs for adults, somewhere between 600 and 1,000 or so IUs for children, okay? Now, how do you know if it's the right amount? Then, after using it for 4 to 6 weeks, test your 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels. It's the only way to know. Yes, it is bio-individualized, because you also should be taking this with something like your daily nutritional support shake so that you get the vitamin K2 in your daily nutritional support or your activated multivitamin, and you also get the magnesium with it, you get calcium, you help all this be uptaken properly to the bones and to the tissues wherever it's needed. So again, they say, well, also be careful not to use higher dosages of $300,000 to $500,000 because it could increase 500,000 IUs, not dollars. That would be a lot of dollars. Seem to increase fracture risk. Well, yes, it does, of course, because we talk about that. If you use mega doses of something, it's no longer a vitamin. It's a pharmaceutical drug. Use normal dosages, what you would get on a daily basis from nature. From nature. You don't want a pharmaceutical dose. Yes, that's going to cause cardiovascular and bone issues. So what do they recommend? They say this: vitamin D supplementation has been shown to reduce overall mortality, and some studies suggest that vitamin D might be beneficial for immune function, cancer, and cardiovascular health. Well, yes, of course, it's been proven to do those things. But here's where it gets a little crazy. They say, it could change based on the person's ethnic or racial group. And they say up to 2,000 IUs a day for adults. And then they say, this is where it gets very interesting. Another group says 600 IU a day for people age 1 to 70 and 800 IUs a day for people over 70. Some brilliant people do so much and say some of the most insane things. So you're telling me my daughter, 5 years old, maybe she weighs like 35 pounds or so. So you're telling me she needs the same dosage as me? I weigh 130 pounds more than her. We need the same dosage of vitamin D? Do we need the same dosage of calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, B vitamins? Of course not. This is why you don't want to take your nutritional supplement advice from conventional medicine. They don't study this. Take it from an integrative health practitioner. Take it from a functional medicine doctor that studies nutritional supplementation. Take it from an orthomolecular doctor. Take it from someone that studies this. You don't want to take it from someone where it's not their work, right? That's all. That's all that I'm saying. Again, brilliant people, but we need to use all of our faculties. A 1-year-old is going to need a different amount of vitamin D than a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old. Okay. Hopefully that's very specific. I've already gone over my limit. I'm going to save my additional research for you for next week. A lot of great research. I'm going to go over another study on the dangers of fluoride, and I'll also go over don't think about fully retiring yet. You'll want to think about this instead. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Went a little long today, but hopefully it was worth it. As always, if it was beneficial, please do feel free to pass this information along to anyone else you believe it can serve. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.